On November 4th, this Delta 757 visited my hometown airport as a charter for the University of Illinois football team. And would you believe it, 2 days later I flew the exact same aircraft from Chicago to Atlanta. Flying a 757 itself is exciting, but when it's the exact same plane I had literally just spotted, that made today's experience even cooler. So let's hop on board the Delta 757 for this quick flight down to Atlanta. Having just gotten out of class, myself and that aviation geek caught the 2 p.m. Peoria Charter shuttle bus up to O'Hare. Peoria Charter operate these coach buses multiple times a day between the University of Illinois, Chicago suburbs, and O'Hare. The buses are quite nice and even have free Wi-Fi, so I was able to get some work done. The bus makes a couple of suburb stops before the airport, so even though Champaign to O'Hare normally takes 2.5 hours to drive, with the bus it takes a little over 3 hours because of all the stops. But in no time, we were dropped off at Terminal 2 and proceeded to take the airport transit system to Terminal 5, where our flight would depart from. Even though we had checked in online, we paid a quick visit to Delta's beautiful new check-in area to print out some physical copies of our boarding passes. After that, it was straight to TSA pre-check and straight through as well. Today was a new record for me in Terminal 5, clearing the checkpoint in just 2 minutes. We had some time before boarding began, so we grabbed a quick dinner and spotted a couple aircraft at the terminal. The best, of course, was this Qatar Airways 777-300ER to Doha, followed by a Royal Jordanian 787 to Amman, a Scandinavian A330-300 to Stockholm, and a Turkish 777-300ER to Istanbul. Our flight tonight was supposed to depart from gate M11, but as we walked past the gate, we noticed a long line of passengers. These passengers were on board the 5 p.m. Atlanta flight 2738, which was supposed to be operated by aircraft November 694 Delta Lima. However, 694 had a mechanical issue, so the flight was ironically swapped to its sister aircraft 693, and then delayed until 10 p.m. Our 7 p.m. Atlanta flight 2366 was initially going out with a rather empty load. However, because of flight 2738's hefty delay, most of its passengers were reallocated to our flight. As an even more unexpected turn of events, our flight was suddenly assigned gate M14, which Delta doesn't normally use at Terminal 5. This sudden change made the boarding process a bit confusing and chaotic since, for one, the displays were never updated to show our flight. Secondly, there were other flights departing from neighboring gates for Aer Lingus and Sun Country, and so the announcements for these flights interfered with those for our flight. But eventually, we all made our way down the clogged jetway to board the aircraft. The 757-200 flying us down to Atlanta this evening is November 552 November Whiskey. This 757 was originally built in July 2001 for Northwest Airlines, and then transferred to Delta in 2008 following the merger. I had spotted this exact plane just 2 days earlier back home in Champaign, and it was crazy to be flying on it, especially considering Delta has over 100 757-200s in regular domestic service. That means the chance of me flying this specific 757 was around 1%. Anyway, the vast majority of Delta 757-200s feature 199 seats and are part of the 75D subfleet. These aircraft have 20 first-class seats, 29 Comfort Plus, and 150 main cabin seats. My seat tonight is 34F, but by mistake I accidentally sat in 34A. Soon I realized that I'm an idiot and moved across to 34F. The main cabin seats on Delta overall are really nice with in-flight entertainment, USB power, a tray table, and 2 seat pockets with also decent legroom. 2 full power outlets are also found per every 3 seats, as well as reading lights, call buttons, and air vents above the seats. Complimentary earphones were distributed shortly before pushback, and even though I already have a pair, I gladly took another.
If aviators.
Rafts are located in a ceiling compartment in the forward section of the plane and at the back of the plane. The rear two window exits have an escape strap attached inside the window frame, which can be used to assist in a water evacuation.
Delta's in-flight entertainment system is stocked with countless entertainment options, including movies and live TV. There's plenty of flight information available too, including a 3D interactive map, which I'm assuming is a new addition to the 757 fleet because this is the first time I've ever seen this on board the Delta 757. Either way, it was fun to play around with the map and also really helpful since I was able to see when we'd be flying past my hometown. Delta recently made Wi-Fi free for all SkyMiles members, and having joined SkyMiles recently, I was excited to try it out. Unfortunately, I must have forgotten to input my SkyMiles number on my booking because the Wi-Fi wouldn't work for me. My friend, that aviation geek who I was traveling with, was able to get the Wi-Fi to work and said it was very fast. While cruising over Kentucky, snacks and drinks were passed out. I had water as my drink and there were 4 options for snacks: granola bars, Biscoff cookies, pretzels, or sun chips. I went with the chips, which came in a rather small bag, but more snacks were also provided upon request. Chicago to Atlanta is always a short flight, and tonight was no exception. After approaching from the northwest, we flew past the airport on downwind before making a 180 and coming into land on runway 26 right.
until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign.
Any aviation enthusiast would surely enjoy flying on Delta based on the wide range of aircraft that they fly, especially older jets like the Boeing 717, 757, and 767. Tonight's flight on Delta was enjoyable as expected with great service, a great onboard product, on-time flight, and also getting to fly a 757 is never a bad thing in my opinion. I had a 37-minute connection in Atlanta, so I'll end the video here, so we'll pick up right from this exact same spot next time. Thank you all so much for tuning in, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all very soon.